So hello again, how are you? Hope you're well, thanks for joining me. I am in New Brighton again, would you believe it? About 6 weeks after I was here with Lucy, and Lucy is here too. She is back at the hotel, same hotel. We enjoyed our stay there last time, we're staying there again today. But we are not here to do photos, or at least that wasn't the plan for this little trip, because I think if you saw my last video, I was saying I needed to take a bit of time off. I was burned out, I wanted to do different things. And that is what we're doing today. We're doing a different thing. We're actually going to see a YouTuber, a guy called Kieran, who's got a channel with Bimbleism, which he rides around on his bike and he shows bits of local history and plays a bit of music. And he's really good. So we're coming to see him live tonight. And that was going to be it. But after we booked the tickets, suddenly Harman decided to drop their new, I hate that word drop, it's terrible, but you know, you get these words in your head, don't you? They decided to drop their new Phoenix 200 film, and I couldn't resist seeing what it would do. This isn't a review of the film, because unlike the great and the good who get sent loads of rolls in advance to shoot and to test out, I have paid for, there you go, 13 quid, one roll, and I'm just going to use it and try and have fun with it. But it's a 200 speed film, and last time I was here, me and Lucy were shooting 200 speed ColorPlus, so it would be quite interesting to shoot some of the same things again and see if we get similar results. Well, if I get some results. She is having a day off, she is having a rest, going looking at some vintage shops, and then we're going to meet up for Kieran and Bimbleism. But yeah, I want to test this out with a few of the things that we shot last time. I've got on my phone actually a contact sheet with the pictures that we took. See if I can find it. There we go, I've got a contact sheet with the shots that we took, both her and I, and I'm going to see if I can find the same angles and take pretty much the same shots, because the lighting is almost the same. The sun's going in and out, might not be exactly as it was last time, but I think it's a fairly good comparison. So this is where I loaded up last time, because there's a little bit of shadow, and I'm going to load this into, as last time, almost a comparison. Like I said, this is not a scientific test, but I'm trying to keep things as close as possible so I can get an idea of how this film operates. I've got the 620 again, I've got the 50mm lens. Watch the other video if you want as a precursor to this, and you can see a bit more of New Brighton and what we did, or watch this first and then go back to that afterwards. But yeah, I'm going to load this up now. 36 exposures, probably use about 10-12 exposures on things that I've done before, and then use the rest of them on some new things so that I feel like I've got value out of the film, because as I say, I don't get sent this stuff for free. I'm not sponsored by anybody, sadly. Right, let's load up and see what we can get. I'm going to rate this at 200, by the way, because that's what I did when I did the first lot of Phoenix. The first roll I rated it at 200, which is the box speed, and I felt like it needed a bit more light, so I rated it at 160 the next time, but this time I'm going to do it box speed, so it's the same sort of comparison. Yeah, it looks pretty much the same. It's got the same backing colour. It's a blue canister, obviously. Let's get it in, not let it get too exposed to the light. There we go, it's loaded okay. Let's see if it's recognised the ISO. Yep, 200, we are good to go. Right, let's crack on and find, I think the first thing I might do is, there's that mini golf place. I don't know if I actually made it to the video, but I took a picture of it, and so did Lucy. It was quite good, so we'll head off that way. The sun has come out now. I was hoping that the weather was going to stay pretty much the same as it was last time I was here, and it is like it was on that afternoon when I was shooting black and white film, but on the day when I was shooting the colour, it was a lot more cloudy. I've actually got my phone with me here, and I've created a contact sheet of the pictures that Lucy and I took, the colour ones, so I can match up the shots like for like and get the same thing again. It might not be possible if the weather stays like this, but this is better weather for the kind of photography I do, so not going to complain. I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, so going to have a look at the contact sheet, see the shot that she took, so I'm going to copy it. It was definitely this mermaid. Where are you, mermaid? Ah, there we go. So the towers were there on the right hand side, and yeah, okay, let's take that picture again. Portrait orientation, focusing on her. There we go, 1/350th of a second and f11. slightly brighter today than it was then, slightly more backlighting, so more specular highlights on the mermaid, but I think it's a fairly good approximation. So here we go, my first shot on Phoenix 2, and it's pretty much as I expected. There is still some halation there. You can see it's where there is a big contrast going from dark to light. The colours veering to purple, which is kind of what I got in Phoenix 1, but there does seem to be more detail in the shadows. Again, I'm shooting this at box speed, and when I did that with the first Phoenix, it was really hard to see anything in the shadows. They were very muddy, and there was a lot of purple that came out of the shots, as you can see here. But with this mermaid, yeah, you can tell it's Phoenix, but it is a slightly toned down Phoenix, and I think all the better for it. Now, I did say it wasn't a fair comparison because the light wasn't quite the same, but actually the sun went in later in the day, and I went back and I was able to reshoot the mermaid under the same light we had when Lucy shot it on our previous trip, and this is that image. Obviously, I've done some colour correction here, but just the standard stuff that I would do with any shot that I was doing with film. And it is that thing where you could send it to a different lab with a different lab operator, you could process it with a different mirrorless camera, a different setup, and you're always going to get slightly different colours. So it's not a scientific test, as I said, but looking at these side to side, you can see quite a difference between the Phoenix on the left and the ColorPlus on the right. Which do you prefer? I'm not sure. There's something to be said for both of them. If you look at the amount of shadow detail on the ColorPlus, there is a lot more there. The colours actually of the mermaid herself I actually prefer on Harman Phoenix, but the sky still has a slight purpley cast to it, which again I could do more to correct. But if ColorPlus is doing the same for me at £3 less on the prices that I normally pay, would I really go for Phoenix? Is it that kind of thing where, yeah, sometimes when you go out you want to have a craft lager that is a bit different, but actually on a day-to-day basis you'd rather have your usual big brand keg where you know what you're going to get. I do love the pop from the ColorPlus reds as well, and that is lost in the Harman Phoenix. But it's early days. Let's see how we get on with some more shots. Right, let's see what else you took. Let's have a look here. We're going to go and do those shelters from the pop video again. Circus has moved on, so we won't be doing any of the big top stuff. There was one I took of the flowers against the blue of the benches. Let's see if we can go and do that. I'm missing Lucy already. Feel a bit lonely here. But I have met a couple of people on the way. There's a really nice family who stopped and asked me what my channel was, who may or may not be on the intro, depending on which take I use, because they walked across as I was taking it. I said, don't worry, I'll edit you out, and they said, don't edit us out, we want to be on it, we'll go and see your channel. So I hope I haven't edited you out, but I might have had to have done that, because I may well have messed up my intro. Right, so let's go down this way. I think it's probably along here, that bench. I found it, it's just up here. I recognise it. One of the advantages of this is that the flowers are plastic flowers, so they obviously stay for quite a while. Now let me just check, is this the same one? It looks very much like it. I honestly can't tell, maybe it isn't, but I'm going to take this one because it has got the same colours in it pretty much. So 1/180th at f8. Right. So what do we think of this one? The colours seem pretty good, a little bit washed out perhaps. There's not too much grain, there's a good amount of shadow detail. If we look at it next to the ColorPlus version, I think we can agree that the colours are actually a lot better on this one, because the ColorPlus, it has problems with yellows, it seems, or maybe my scanning has problems with yellows, and it's created some strange effect with those yellow flowers. Obviously these aren't exactly the same benches, exactly the same colours, it's not the same day, so maybe comparing apples and oranges, but I'd say this is showing the new Phoenix is able to deal with a fairly complicated scene without too much difficulty. Let's move on. So this I definitely took, and it's from the opposite side, and the light is almost identical to when I took the last one, so that should be Interesting. Just put that there. So here's the result with minimal colour correction. I kind of like it. I kind of like the purple in the sky for this one. It's slightly closer up than the picture I took originally. If we look at the two side by side, there is less grain I think in the ColorPlus. It is a bit creamier. The colours are more neutral. But again, it's all about personal taste. It's all about what your purpose is in shooting a particular film. But I think the new Phoenixes cope better with this than I would have expected from having used the original Phoenix at box speed. So we're coming up to the shelters Lucy thought were in the black video. I think it was those ones there that we took. It's warm today, very warm, and I'm wearing long sleeves because when I set out this morning it was not warm, it was actually drizzling. We get all the seasons in one day, don't we, as a particular band once said. Yes, so this was it here, wasn't it? Yes, that was the shot. So today we're looking at 750th of a second, 6.7. Let's go to f8. f8's 1/500th. That'll be the shot. So here there is a lot of purple in the shot, and it's not dealt with this high contrast scene quite as well as I think the ColorPlus would have done. If you look here, I've done some extra post-processing to try and get as much out of the file as possible, and I think it's pretty good. But again, I still think the ColorPlus has done a better job if we look at them side by side. I did take another picture pointing the opposite direction, and I'm much happier with that one. I also like the composition and I like the colours, the yellow of the truck being echoed by the yellow of the ground beside it, and the way the subframing works. But yeah, it might have been even better in ColorPlus. Yeah, the caravan's still here from last time. Or one very similar. Windbreak's still there. Just remembering exactly the right angle. Let's compare with the other one. Yeah, it was about like that. So the caravan, it was a highlight of the last shoot. This time, again, the purple in the windows and in the sky as well is kind of obvious. I have corrected it slightly, and if you look at the side by side, there actually seems to be more shadow detail in the Harman Phoenix than the ColorPlus, which is kind of unusual. Maybe the lighting conditions on the day have something to do with that. It's a different stripe on the windbreak as well, which is kind of odd. I thought it was exactly the same setup, but it's not identical. It's quite funny, isn't it, how things change just subtly from day to day. But yeah, I'm not sure which I prefer. I think I prefer the Phoenix on this one. I think it's got that more lost and lonely look to it, and the lowering sky certainly adds something, but that again, more to do with the weather on the day. So last time I was here, I got a guy with the two towers and the red fence. The red fence is over there. There's two people walking. I'm going to be able to get a comparable shot. That's interesting. There was a dog involved in the other one as well, which is good. There was like a dog involved. We'll see. So yes, the colours turned out okay on this, a bit purplish, and I did get the two figures in the background and the dog, but even on a 4K upload, and yes, this is the first time I've uploaded a video in 4K. Are you enjoying that? Is it worth doing? I'm kind of unsure myself, so comment down below if you think I should keep uploading in 4K. Is this a lot better than the previous videos? Otherwise I'll probably go back to 1080p, unless the algorithm of course loves the 4K, in which case I will keep doing it. But yeah, this one, it's okay. If I compare it with the one from last time though, I think that one is the superior picture. I prefer the contrast to it, again the red pops of the ColorPlus, but again, horses for courses. But I'm getting a bit bored with all this, just doing the same thing that I did before. So I think it's time to maybe just take a few pictures for fun now. So having taken a few pictures that I'd already taken before, or Lucy had already taken before, to get some side-by-side comparisons, I felt it was time to actually try and make something interesting and new with this film. Obviously I paid for my £13. I wanted to get some value out of it and see what it could do. And so here are a few examples of what I took around New Brighton the rest of that afternoon and a bit of the following morning.
I've been a bit more aggressive with my post-processing on these because you've seen the comparisons, and this is trying to get something more interesting out of the film, and I think it's worked. I think the increase in contrast, I think doing a little bit more colour correction and colour correction throughout the image, actually selecting certain areas and making sure that it all bounces, has been a really positive thing, and I've enjoyed using this film. At the end of the day, it's probably not something I would use on a regular basis, but it's something that I might bring out for a special occasion, and indeed on this occasion, because the whole reason for this video is that I was inspired to shoot because this new film had arrived and I wanted to try it out. So it's a really nice thing to be able to do, to try a new film, and that's one of the things I like about film photography, that there are these options, and sometimes it can inspire you to go out when you aren't really feeling like going out anyway. But if I was going to use a film for a particular project, I think I would choose something which is a little bit more vanilla, that is adaptable and that can be made to work alongside other films. For instance, I'm working on this car boot sale project at the moment, and when I initially started doing it, I filmed some of it with black and white film, some of it with Harman Phoenix 1, and in the end I settled on ColorPlus as my film of choice, partly because of its look, partly because of its availability and its price. And as I've started to put together the series, it's very difficult to fit the Harman Phoenix shots in with the ColorPlus ones. I've shot a few on other films and they can be made to look pretty much the same. You can get the same feel, but with the Harman Phoenix, partly because of the halation, partly because of the deep colour tints that it seems to produce, it's very hard to make that work integrate with another set of films. So that might be a positive, but to me it's a limitation, and so it's a reason why I would only use the Harman for specific things. But the issue with the muddy shadows, the issue with the amount of grain, I think has been vastly improved on with this iteration of the film, and this is only shooting at box speed. I think if I probably shot it at 160 as I did with my second roll of Phoenix, I would get even better results and possibly less of the colour shifts as well. But maybe that's what I'm going for. So if I'm trying to remove the quirks of the film, why not just use a film that doesn't have quirks and that's cheaper in the first place, other than to support a local firm that's doing something interesting. But there you go, Harman Phoenix 2, my first thoughts.
So there we go, another trip to New Brighton. I hope you enjoyed that little look at the new Harman Phoenix 2. I know it's not a scientific test, I keep saying it all the way through because, yeah, don't want to misrepresent it. But I hope you enjoyed my insights into it, my thoughts from having just used that one roll the first time. As I said before, I'm going to try and take a little break, try and get over this burnout, and I'll be back properly soon. How soon? I really don't know. I wasn't intending to be back this soon. But I will be back, so please do subscribe so you don't miss the amazing content when it finally comes out. And take care of yourselves, enjoy your shooting, and bye for now.